Imagine a world where, no matter where you are, there's constant snowfall. For those in warmer climates, that may seem pretty cool at first, no pun intended, but those who live in more chilly environments may be agitated, wondering when the snow will stop. But that thinking is way too short term, as you'll see soon. But anyway, heyo, I'm Yuki. So a few days ago I put out this new trailer teasing my album coming up, Frost Eterna. And so today I'm here to talk a bit about the album, telling the story of it all, and a little bit more. And if you haven't seen the trailer, be sure to check it out at the end of this video. I'll link it on the end screen for you. So, what actually is Frost Eterna? Well, on paper, Frost Eterna is an electronic music album, but in practice, it's much more than that. The way I see it, my new album can be listened to in two different ways. We'll call them listening modes for simplicity's sake. The first listening mode would be passive consumption, aka I just need something to throw on in the background. This is how most people listen to music after having gone through the initial discovery phase. It's also where most of a song streams will come from. I mean, after all, people use music as a sort of soundtrack to their life, so to speak. The second listening mode would be experiencing the story, aka I listen to music for the plot. This is where the term concept album gets thrown around a lot. All of my music up to my Void of Reality EP follows a similar idea. Basically, there's a sort of overarching theme or narrative tying everything together. But Frost Eterna is what I'd consider a true concept album. It tells a self-contained story set in a world of never-ending frost. But speaking of the story, what narrative am I trying to tell with this album? The protagonist of this album does not have a name, and that's intentional. Instead of having a protagonist to rally around like in my past releases, Frost Eterna uses a sort of self-insert protagonist. I think with music being as immersive as it is in storytelling, this will allow you to further that immersion. So, what will you experience in this world of permafrost? The album starts with you waking up in a foreign body, surrounded by nothing but endless tundra. That is, until you look above you. That's when you notice the massive fracture in the sky, the only thing visible through the overcast skies. As you're getting your bearings, you start walking, and keep walking. It doesn't take long to figure out this tundra is much bigger than you'd hoped it would be. But as you keep walking, hoping to find something, you can't help but notice the dangerous beauty of your situation. The story up to now is experienced through the first 3 tracks. After a long, excruciating walk, you finally find a town. It's in this town that you learn you're not at the ends of the earth at all, like you might have suspected. For over a century, this world has suffered constant overcast skies. Global temperatures have dropped to a permanent winter, and heat is now a scarce resource. However, right now, researchers are closer than ever to discovering the source of the sky fracture. So, after doing what you can to research and prepare in town, you set out for the supposed source of the sky fracture. That source? The Frost Cavern. But I don't want to give away the entire story just yet, and I think you'll enjoy this album more without set directions. So yep, I'm leaving you on a cliffhanger, he says menacingly as he stares intently into the camera. Once the album is out, go listen to it in order and decide for yourself the direction the story went. But obviously, music isn't just about the story. So what sort of vibe does this album have audibly? As I'm sure you assumed, this album sounds cold. Like, very cold. I've been achieving this through the use of complex melodies, with more focus on the higher end of frequencies in the sound design. In fact, a couple of the more atmospheric songs are even micro-tuned. For those who don't know, all that means is I've written the song in a standard scale, or set of notes. But after the fact, the actual pitch of the notes is ever so slightly shifted from the standard. Don't get me wrong though, some of the songs on this album get intense. One example is the climax track, Unwavering Soul. That song has very strong old school dubstep vibes for pretty much all of it. yet it definitely still has that melodic Frost Eterna feeling to it. So yeah, expect a mix of lighter tracks with atmosphere just pouring out of them, and harder tracks for tension in between. Now, after watching all of this, I know the question on your mind. I've been teasing this album quite a bit, but everything so far just says coming soon. So when does this dang album release? Well, I promise, I'm actively working on this album to get it polished for distribution. But I think I'm close enough now that I can set a date and stick to it. So, when does it come out? Well, take a look for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it. And most importantly of all, enjoy.